As time goes on, more people are going to be let go. More businesses are going to close. Less money is going to be spent. But the people in the middle didn't really get a lot. Is they're not going down. And you're like, why aren't they going down that much? What questions do you guys have? This week, our topic that we're going to go over before we go into our Q&A is why it will take 12 to 24 months for the stock market and the real estate market to go down. That is our topic for this week. Now, for those on IG, they keep telling me, hey, the information is backwards. If you go on my YouTube, which is at Pascal Corcus, the information is not backwards and it's a lot larger, so you'll be able to see more information. Plus, we have better audio equipment and video equipment. So if you're wondering why it's not perfect, that's the reason why. So I'm going to answer the questions and go into the Q&A in a little bit. But first, I want to hit on our topic, which is, again, why it will take 12 to 24 months for the real estate market and the stock market to go down. So this is basically how it functions. We have our world is segmented in different ways. So there's the stock market and how it functions. There's the real estate market and how it functions. And then there's basically Main Street or the real world and how it functions. And all three kind of lag each other. They don't really correspond very well, but they do mimic and have a rhythm with each other. So when one thing happens, the other things will eventually reflect it, but it takes time. So with the stock market prices are based off of sentiment. Sentiment meaning feeling, emotions. If people feel that things are going to get better, then the prices are going to be high. And normally you're going to reflect that on a high price to earnings ratio. And normally a high price to earning ratio is around 30, we'll say 30 and above. For example, right now, Disney's at almost 40 PE ratio. So that means they think this company is going to grow, they're going to spend more money, they're going to make more money. And that means they're going to be having a lot of customers coming in. So as sentiment goes up, prices go up, the PE ratio increases. As sentiment decreases, meaning people don't think the outlook is going to be that great, prices decrease. And that's how it works in the stock market. And the stock market normally is behind the Main Street about 3 months. Then we have the real estate market. So the real estate market goes off of not a little bit off of feeling, but more off of demand, which is also based off of feelings, right? So as more people are demanding to rent something in a certain area, prices go up. Like in New York, the prices are very high for rent. Well, they couldn't actually charge that much money if people weren't willing to pay it, and there wasn't a lot of people who wanted the pricing. Wanting to rent that property and be willing to pay at that price. Now, the same thing for real estate to purchase. When you're purchasing property, it's based off of demand. So currently, right now, for example, in some counties in California, they only have about 2.2 months worth of supply of homes for sale. That means if they sold every single piece of property and no additional property went up for sale, all the properties would be gone in 2.2 months. Which is a lot of pressure to increase prices. Right now, that's what it is right now. Normally, it's about 6 months worth of supply. So if they had 6 months worth of supply, the pressure for prices to increase wouldn't be that high, and the prices wouldn't go up. So those are how the markets function. Now let's talk about Main Street. What happens on Main Street determines what happens on the stock market and the real estate market. And in a little bit, I'm going to put up on the board to show how things are going to reflect. Okay, so the best way to explain it is actually prices over time. That's going to be the best way to explain how things are going to happen over the 12 to 24 months. Price over time. So we're going to go over here. We're going to go price. And this is here is time. Okay. Kind of looks like a pie. Well, time. So what happens is right now you're going to see spending is going to start slowing down. So as we start spending less money, the small businesses aren't getting the money, right? So right now, so let's go back to the stock market. The government gave out a lot of money, but a lot of the money didn't went to the very small Americans that made under 150,000 a year, and it went to a lot of rich companies. But the people in the middle didn't really get a lot, right? If you made 300,000 a year and you owned a small business and both of those things got hurt, you really didn't get much, especially if you didn't have many employees. And the PPP funds aren't really doing too much. They're doing something, but not a lot. So we're going to have a crunch in that middle section. There's nothing on the board yet. For people who are saying, I can't see, there's actually nothing up there yet. I'm going to start drawing in a minute. So what's going on now is that if 10%, I just want you to understand this like that, right? If spending decreases 10%, most small businesses become unprofitable. Their top 10% is where all the money is. So if spending goes down 10%, many small businesses will start letting go some of their employees, and many small businesses will actually have to shut down because they're not making enough money. So 10% drop, right? A 10% drop in income for many small businesses will cause prices to go down a little bit, okay? So this is, the red is the stock market, and blue is gonna be the real estate market. So that 10% drop isn't gonna reflect right away. It's gonna take about 90 days for the stock market to see that. And as it's dropping, it needs to drop, as long as it drops the amount everyone thinks it's gonna drop, their feelings are gonna be okay. So the price of the stock market isn't gonna drop that much. It's not gonna drop hard, it's only gonna go down a little bit, right? That's why we're right now about 20% lower than our height was, instead of more than that. Now, this is based off of feeling. Now, what happens is as more people are being let go, right? As time goes on, more people are gonna be let go. More businesses are going to close, less money is going to be spent, and that money is going to be spent less and less and less being spent. So it's not circulating in the system. So there's not enough liquidity in the market. Money's drying up. People don't have it to spend. They can't get loans, right? You already heard they're reducing the amount of people to buy homes. They're reducing the amount of loans they give up to investors, to people who want to buy real estate or invest in their business. They're reducing that. So the amount of money in the market's dropping. So what's going to happen over time, every 3 months, the stock market is going to realize that it's worse than it is. And eventually, they're going to be calling it a recession, a depression, which then normally has a big drop, right? And that's going to happen. Now, before I say how are we going to recover, I'm gonna show you now how is the real estate market gonna reflect this information, right? So the real estate market here, so blue is real estate, RE, okay? So the real estate market normally works like this, okay? The real estate market prices are here. So the prices are gonna be right here, okay? Prices really haven't dropped too much. And what you're going to be seeing is they're not going down. And you're like, why aren't they going down that much? We're not seeing much of a drop, right? Let me tell you this. Before we go here, we're going to see some foreclosures hitting the market. The foreclosures we're going to be seeing over the next 12 months are really from 2015 to 17. These are not foreclosures that are corona related, okay? These are evictions from back then. Those foreclosures were sold to hedge funds. Hedge funds gave it to asset managers to remodel and to get them rented out by property managers. They're under a 3 to 5 year contract. Well, that contract is expiring, and they basically reviewed the work that they did. They didn't do a good job on the remodels, and they didn't do a good job on renting. So they're losing a lot of money. And because they're losing a lot of money, they're saying, sell my assets and get out. Well, they can't get out on a lot of these properties. They cannot get out of them because there's the evictions and forbearances. And this is my point here. Right now, there's going to be downward pressure to have real estate drop, okay? But why isn't it dropping? Well, there isn't a lot of supply coming to the market. And the reason why is because what's holding up the prices is how they're not allowing evictions, and they're not allowing basically the forbearances. So the forbearances are avoiding evictions from happening, and they're avoiding people getting foreclosed on. So because this supply isn't coming to the market, it's holding the price up because we don't have enough real estate on the market currently. And a lot of the stuff that's gonna hit the market, people are holding off. People are trying to see what's going to happen because of the coronavirus. People can't sell things. People can't come in. They're concerned. We have people with people that are going to get evicted. They can't get evicted because some of these homes that I'm telling you that are going to be coming to the market because of the foreclosures from 2015 and 17 that are not. They can't even put them to market because they have tenants in them that they can't evict. Right? They have this issue that they can't, put them to market. So what's happening is these evictions and these foreclosures and the forbearances that are avoiding the foreclosures. So they're not letting evictions happen. They're not letting foreclosures happen. So the supply is being reduced, artificially held up by the government. So the government is keeping the supply from hitting the market, giving time. They're hoping that in this process, they're going to be working out all the extra stuff, right? Do you know how they said, oh, we're going to try to lessen the curve of the coronavirus? Well, what they're trying to do is this evictions and foreclosures, they're trying to lessen the curve in a way, right? They're hoping that somewhere around the line that they're going to absorb some of it up. Some people are going to get back on their feet, and then it's not going to be a huge hit when everything's hitting at one time. But what I'm thinking, and what a lot of other big players are thinking, is that right now, these evictions and forbearances are holding up the price artificially. And just like the stock market's slowly going to go down, well, it's going to come to a point where the real estate market and the stock market they're going to get the news. They're going to finally declare that it is a recession. Boom, real estate prices are going to drop. And they're going to go boom, hard from like that. And now again, I don't think it's probably going to be like, maybe more like this, then this. So more of like a stair-step type of situation instead of a gradual drop like this. Is the stock market also going to have a significant drop too? Yes. But the real estate market is going to look more like stair steps compared to the stock market is going to be more like, V'ing down. They're going to V down the stock market. It's going to stair step in real estate. So, and now, this is what's going to happen over 12 to 24 months because as these evictions and foreclosures start rolling out and they process them through, they're going to come out. Now, in certain states like New York and California, they're going to take longer for them to happen because the government is pro-tenant. So it's going to take longer for those to happen. The process is longer. The foreclosures take longer. So it might be more like the big hit might be for New York and California might be 24 months. But there's a lot of smart people in the game. So they're going to know this is going to happen. And because they know this is going to happen, they're going to actually stop buying, right? So that's also going to add to it. So people are going to stop buying, stop spending, and then these foreclosures are going to hit. So that's why these stair steps are going to continue to happen. So around 24 months to 36 months, we're then going to start seeing so now we're going to fast forward, okay? So this timeline, say 12 to say 36 months. We're now back to now we're at 36 months up here. So I'm going to erase all of this. Okay, so at 36 months, what's going to happen? All right, oops. So at 36 months, shouldn't have been so aggressive. At 36 months, what we're going to see happen is basically this. You guys are probably having a good laugh at home. So in the stock market is going to have one of these. As the money starts being spent, as feelings are going to go up. Now, stock market in reality is going to go up probably faster than the real estate market is. It recovers faster, okay? The real estate market is slower. It's lagging the stock market because with the real estate market, it will take it will take, I'm going to give you guys a second to get all the laughs out. So with the real estate market, what's going to happen, why it's going to start from 36 months to say 72 months, which is like 3 to 6 years. What happened is all the people that got foreclosed on, evicted, all their money got spent, their credit went bad. It's going to take them 3 to 6 years, or actually 3 to 7 years. So for their credit, their cash, their tax returns to get back. So there's going to be a ton of people who want to buy stocks and want to buy houses. The problem is with the housing market, it takes a lot more than just money to get in. It takes credit, it takes tax returns, right? That's why in my course, it teaches the foundation of all this stuff. Because if you're just good at one thing, it's not going to help you, right? If you're just good at one of those other things can take you down. That's why it helps you across the board and all those things. So it will take them 36 to 72 months to get their credit, cash, and tax returns back in order. And that's why you're going to see another 3 years on top of that. So up to 10 years of the real estate market going up. And that's where you're going to see the real estate market go for about 10 years. So I'm going to see the bottom is going to be 24 to 36 months. And from there, we're going to have about 7 to 10 years of good times again.